Hey guys, so today I want to talk about Pokemon investing and I want to relate it to the future because the discussion always comes up where people are asking, who's going to buy a team up box when it's $20,000, $30,000? Who's going to buy an Evolving Skies box if it reaches $10,000? Maybe I should just buy loose packs like this, right? Because there's going to be more people that want to buy them in the future. And we're going to relate this to nostalgia because nostalgia is a very important thing. It's a very powerful thing. And I just want to tell my story and kind of relate this all to Pokemon investing in the end. So I was on YouTube the other day on my computer, and a montage for a game called Combat Arms came up. Now, I'm sure 99.9% of you guys don't know what Combat Arms is or was. It was a free FPS game that was wildly popular from 2008 to about 2014. It was created by Nexon. They eventually sold it to Valove, which is another company, and the game is basically dead at this point. But for me growing up as a kid, that was the game I played, right? And I, loved playing the game. I spent probably thousands of hours playing it. There was a very big competitive scene, way back in the day, like 08, 09. And I met a lot of really good people on the game as well, like lifelong friends that I still have to this day, that I've been lucky enough to meet in person up until this point. For the longest time, right, we were just internet friends. Someone lived in the US, someone lived on the other side of Canada, but most of us have met up in person now, which is it's crazy. But for me, that game, even though a lot of people would say that it was terrible, they didn't enjoy it, the nostalgia was there for me, right? Because I had such great experiences on the game, in my childhood, right? People talk about the good old days and stuff like that, but for me, that's really what it was, right? Like I enjoyed playing the game. I have lifelong friends, really good memories. So when I saw that montage, it was a terrible montage, right? But it's something I remember watching when I was 12, 13 years old. And it was just so fun to watch again, right? Like it hits you like a ton of bricks, the nostalgia. So in terms of Pokemon investing, right? To bring this back to what we're doing now, who's going to want to buy an Evolving Skies box when it's, 10, $15,000, who knows, even more, right? Someone will. Okay, and I'm not going to say everyone will be able to. And obviously, the price is going to depend on how many people are willing to spend that much money on a box. But there will be people that want to open that box, that want to have that box because nostalgia. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, right? Like when people get old, they have their money. We long for what we can't have anymore, right? Like that's just human psychology. So someone went through COVID and they bought an Evolving Skies box and they ripped the Umbreon VMAX, or, they ripped it with their father or mother or, brother or sister that are no longer with them, right? So it's going to be something that they can own that is going to, give them memories, that happy feeling from the past, right? That they can no longer have. They can't have that experience. And this is about as close as they can get is buying one of these boxes and just having it and remembering that sensation, right? So it's the same thing with me when I was watching that montage, right? Like the odds that we could get everyone back on the game, we're all old, we have jobs now and stuff like that, but we did end up playing a fair bit. Even over the past couple of years, we'd hop on the odd time and we'd all get together and play. But you know no one can go back to 2008, 2009 and be in what it was in the perfect sense of you know my ideals, I guess, about how that game was, right? And it's the same thing with an Evolving Skies box in 30, 40 years. Like no one's going to be able to go back to 2021 during the height of peak insanity, scamdemic, and be opening that box for the first time with their parents or whatever. So that's where nostalgia comes from, and that's why these things are going to be worth something in the future, because for a lot of people, Pokemon is where they get their nostalgia from. Like even nowadays, right? Like people have that nostalgia of going to Walmart or their local LGS like 20 years ago and buying a base set booster box or base set booster pack or whatever, and opening a Charizard or a Blastoise, right? So in 20, 30 years, there's going to be a different generation with that exact same feeling, just in a bit of a different scenario, right? So that will always be there, and people are always going to want that because nostalgia is just hardwired into human psychology and human behavior. It's something we long for. So And it may not be an Evolving Skies booster box, right? I brought out some other things. It might be battle styles, you know. Someone might have opened this box with their parents, right? And their parents are no longer around, they pass away or whatever, and they want to buy a box for $2,000 in 2042 and open it with their children or their grandkids or whatever, right? And try and recreate that same feeling. And who knows if it's battle styles? It could be Fusion Strike, right? Like, me and my girlfriend, we opened a couple Fusion Strike packs. She pulled the Gengar VMAX. Maybe in 15, 20 years, we're going to want to rip a box or something, just for old time's sake. Or maybe it'll be Silver Tempest, or maybe it'll be Astral Radiance. Who knows, right? Like, there's always going to be something that someone opened that, maybe they didn't even open it, right? Maybe they just bought a card or something, or they were gifted it by someone. But there's always going to be a different Pokemon product that they latch onto that creates nostalgia in the future. And nostalgia is a very powerful thing. You can monetize it. A lot of other people and companies have monetized it. So, these products are going to be worth something in the future. It doesn't really matter what anyone says. I understand that, people talk about the collectible market just completely falling, but there are so many people in the hobby opening packs that collect cards that have an experience. They might not even be collecting anymore, right? But they've had an experience with Pokemon where they're going to want to come back to it in the future, whether they like it or not. It's going to be something they're drawn to, right? Just because that's nostalgia. That is human behavior. Even if you know I know that playing video games is not a very productive thing. It's something that's kind of just a time waste, right? At this point in my life. But, you know, I can't help but feel like I want to play that really shit, 15-year-old game at this point that's basically dead and no one plays, just because, for me, that was my childhood. I made friends on the game, tons of experiences, right? So, you know, even something like that, I still want to play just because of that nostalgia factor. And that's what I'm trying to get across in this video. I'm kind of rambling at this point, but the idea is that there will always be someone who wants one of these. And we can argue, how many people are going to want it, how many people are going to be willing to spend that type of money on one of these boxes. But even if it's not $10,000 for Evolving Skies, it's going to be $1,000 for Battle Styles. It's going to be $100 for a loose pack of Fusion Strike that they might not even open. They just want to display it on their wall or their shelf or something. So nostalgia is going to be a massive factor. And just like how we currently, as boomers and older people, people starting to have receding hairlines, losing their hair, whatever, getting the pot belly. You guys know what I mean, right? Like us older generation in Pokemon, what we're going through right now with base set and all the vintage stuff and the nostalgia of being kids and opening packs. In 20, 30 years, there's going to be a completely new generation going through that exact same feeling. So, you know, ignore the noise, well, I mean, don't completely ignore it, right? Like, it's important to talk about the collectible market and, how viable it's going to be in the future and how large it could be potentially. And obviously, the risk about investing in these types of things is always going to be there. But, to say that no one's going to want these in the future or that the market's just going to completely collapse, I think is kind of ridiculous. And yeah, just remember, nostalgia is a very, very powerful thing, and it's going to fuel this hobby for a long time to come. So, again, that's just my opinion. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you think. Let me know in the comments down below if there's anything you're super nostalgic about, whether it's Pokemon related, a video game related, anything like that. You guys just let me know what you long for. And if you play Combat Arms too, let me know in the comments down below. I think that'd be really interesting. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Whether you're using eBay and Hobbiesville affiliate links when you're doing some shopping, or you're just leaving a like on the video. I appreciate you guys all being here. Shout out to my channel members as well. You guys are really awesome. So I'm going to have to do something for you guys in the future. I'm trying to think something out that I can do. And yeah, I mean, enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.